I think the worst thing we can do with anything dealing with homelessness issue downtown is to judge quickly. We need to seek to understand where this person's coming from. More than likely, that person does not have the support that I have or we have. And instead of quickly judge, and I would quickly listen and pray, and again do what God directs me to do. And that's what the Atlanta Mission does. I'm not the only one that does that. We all do that. We all go the extra mile. That's what I love about the mission, is that we all go the extra mile for people.
Welcome to Unseen Atlanta, an Atlanta Mission podcast. We believe storytelling has the power to shift perspectives and spark change. Each episode, we will bring you a powerful story from a member of the Atlanta Mission community. I'm your host, Rachel, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jonathan.
This season, we're focused on what it really means to invest in Atlanta. Today, that starts with listening. Our guest today is Michael Sheppard. He's the transitional housing leader at the Sheppard's Inn, but on campus, he's known as Pastor Mike. So in this episode, we talked a lot about hair.
Well, I hope everyone should not be listening to this episode. They should be watching the episode so they can get a look at Michael's hair, because it was basically like a hair war. Like, who has the better hair, me or Pastor Mike? You weren't really in
I was not in the competition.
No, you were in the competition because you have no hair. But we also talked a lot about community, because he is a transitional housing leader. And so he's on the tail end of the guys' journeys at the Sheppard's Inn. And so he talks a lot about the importance of having community as they transition into the real world. So we hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hey, Pastor Mike.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well today. How are you?
Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
We were talking before we started, and you said that you always wanted to be a radio show host.
Yes.
So today
in my dreams, yes.
Today is your opportunity. How do you feel?
I feel like a radio host.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
Good. So we kind of want to, there's a couple things we want to talk to you about today, but we wanted to start, give us a little bit of background about you. Who are you?
Who am I? Born and raised.
Oh, no. It's like a therapy session.
Where's the sofa? Born and raised in Woodstock, Georgia. Been working with Atlanta Mission for 16 years now. When I was a young man, I always seemed to notice hurting people for some reason, and I prayed about it and asked, the Lord, said, I'd love to do this for, occupation. And within a couple of weeks, I started with another ministry downtown and promoted up to, and eventually started with the Atlanta Mission.
And you are a girl dad.
Yes, I have 2 daughters, and they're in their 30s, and I got a granddaughter who's Ava, and she's 11.
Yes.
Awesome.
What do your girls think of your hair?
They think it's epic.
For those of you who don't know, Michael's had a lot of different hairstyles since he's been at the mission. We went through a short hair era, and now we're back to long hair.
I didn't think that was the reason I was here today to discuss that, but yes.
These are the hard-hitting questions that we bring at Unseen Atlanta.
Right. You just got to find your way, what works for you, but the long hair, 80s rock works for me.
Yeah, it's like your persona.
It's like my alter ego. Yeah.
Okay, so you started at Atlanta Mission 16 years ago.
Correct.
I'm assuming it was a lot different. Where did you start? What was it like?
I was called and asked if I could be the shelter director at the time.
For
Sheppard's Inn, downtown.
Did you think they named it after you?
A lot of people thought they named it after me. And I had to, especially when I answered the phone and say, this is Michael Sheppard with the Sheppard's Inn. They said, is it? No, I had to correct them quickly. But to be honest with you, that's really how God confirmed I was supposed to be there, because I was praying about the position before I accepted. I said, God, should I go work at the Sheppard's Inn? And God said, well, I named it after you, so maybe, confirmation that you should go there. So it was like a joke from God. I said, yes.
Yeah, of course.
That's you can go do that.
So you were the shelter director there. And most of the people that are listening kind of know about Atlanta Mission as the transformation model and the kind of new model that we have. Right. But before...
Totally different.
Yeah, what was it like?
Before, it was an in and out shelter. So you would line up outside, coming in, get a bed. Then the next morning, take your items with you, your bags, leave for about 8 hours, and then come back. And not guaranteed to get the same bed, maybe a different bed. It was just in and out, in and out. We gave you 2 meals a day. You got a chance to meet with a social worker, things like that. But it was just a short term, let's just help you get off the streets for the night and take care of that. So nothing like it was today.
So what was that like, transitioning from just being an in and out shelter to being a full service?
Well, staff, of course.
Transformation provider.
Right. So you had to do different staff, different type of staff, counselors, advocates, ambassadors. We really had to work on relationships. We found out the people that's dealing with a period of homelessness really needed some community. They were community poor.
Yeah, because they weren't getting community if they were just leaving during the day, right?
And
Because
usually
where were they going?
back on the streets and just surviving. That was the thing. People who are experiencing homelessness, they know how to survive. They'll survive well. They'll find a place to eat. They'll find a place to take care of their basic needs. They'll find a place safe to sleep on the streets tonight. But really, we want them to thrive, not survive.
Mm-hmm.
So that was part of the change. Let's work on the community to help build the community for them. Give them, they can trust us just as much as we can trust them, and work on that stability. That's the main thing. Just give them stable.
So was it hard for you to see them come in, leave, and then come back? Like, were you just always seeing the same people?
Yes, same people.
Did it feel like you were helping them?
I was keeping them alive, I guess. Best way to put it, get them out of the weather, out of the elements. But was it real change? I don't believe so. I mean, there's one person that I thought of, he would carry 3 big, huge bags with him. At every crosswalk, he would stop, take 2 across, come back, get the other one, and then go back. And that's how he would maneuver through the city.
Mm-hmm.
But once we started the model and started doing day services, he came in and has been there, so he had stability. No more did he have to do that. We had his bags in a secure area. He was safe. He was secure. There was no need for him to leave during the day. He could stay on campus, be a part of what we're doing. So that gave him a lot of safety, a lot of security, a lot of trust. So that changed his whole life. He went from just going from one place to another to being stable.
For a lot of our listeners, most of them probably have seen the Sheppard's Inn and not know it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, where is it located? Why is it that people probably have seen it?
Yeah. And what do you do at Sheppard's Inn?
So it's downtown, right across from the Civil Rights Museum, about a little bit below the aquarium, right off Island Island Boulevard. The fact that some people don't know that we're there is a good thing, because that means we take care of our community, take care of our space downtown, so we keep it clean and orderly. And
yeah, but I'm in marketing. I need them to know it's down there.
Well, we have a beautiful sign outside that says Atlanta Mission.
But I'm glad
as far
you
as
keep
being
it clean.
a partner with our neighbors,
Yes.
we take care of our business and take care of our property, which is important, because we want our neighbors to love us. We help single adult men who are experiencing home housing insecurity currently for this season. We have over 300 beds, and most nights we have close to 300 people stay. 300 men stay at our facility.
And are we the biggest facility for men?
Mm-hmm.
How do they hear about us?
Well, a lot of people, they hear about us when they get off the bus station down at Greyhound. That's one thing.
Oh, really? So they're coming in from other parts?
So, yes, we have a lot of people know that Atlanta has services for homelessness. So a lot of people will migrate to Atlanta thinking that, okay, well, if we go there, we can get some help. So that's one. And then word of mouth, especially on the streets, when they're walking on the streets, word of mouth. A lot of people know who we are, where we are, and they'll direct them to us.
So you started as a shelter director, and then you've taken a lot of different twists.
All 16 years at Sheppard's Inn.
Okay, all 16 years at Sheppard's Inn.
Correct.
And now what are you currently doing?
I am transitional housing leader for our campus.
And what does that mean?
So we have a transformation model. So it's different phases of a person's life on our campus. So they want to come in for 30 days and just get stable and then leave. They can do that. But if they want to stay longer and pursue getting employed, we have a holistic group staff that will help them through that. Once they receive an income, they can come to me. And Fuqua Hall, it used to be a hotel back in '96 for the Olympics for the international reporters. Mr. Fuqua owned the building. And after the Olympics was over, he gifted the building to Atlanta Mission under one condition, that we use it for transitional housing. So ever since then, we've been doing that. So a person can come to me once they come through the program and have income, and for 6 months, they'll transition. Well, hopefully we'll help them transition into independent living.
So before someone gets to you, how long have they been at the Sheppard's Inn?
It could be usually 3 to 6 months, maybe a little less.
Okay, and then they get to you once they have a job.
They have income. They can get SSI, Social Security, disability, or have a job.
And are they paying rent?
They pay a program fee. So they're not paying rent, they pay a program fee because they're still in a program. Best way I'll describe it is this: we're testing everything that you learned up to this point.
Right.
So you've learned conflict resolution, You learn how to be stability. You've been working on community. You've been working on your health. You've been working on budget. So you've been going to these life skill classes. And you've been learning all this. Now you're coming to me. So it's like a new part of your life. We're saying goodbye to the old, and we're saying hello to the new. And hopefully the old is surviving, but now we want you to thrive. And to do that, we'll put you on a budget. We want you to save money, keep your space clean. It's kind of like a college dorm room in our building. We have a full kitchen downstairs, but it's kind of like a college dorm room. Take care of your space, work, save your money, build a community. So who's going to help you move out? Who's going to be helping you when you leave?
What does the community look like? Like, what kind of communities are they building? Is it with people
Most
there?
of them is mainly at work, the work relationships. Some is at church, which is good. We highly recommend that. So it's either through hobbies, maybe, some type of group they get involved with. Because that's the biggest thing is they kind of isolate sometimes, especially when they come over to Fuqua Hall. Now, for the first time since they've been on our campus, they have money and they have opportunity. Now they got a key to a door that locks and they have some privacy. Well, that could be good and bad.
Right.
Sometimes if you have a temptation gets very loud when you're behind a locked door. So we want you to have community, so like accountability people in your life. I don't know what I'd do without my family support. And then again, working with people who are homeless, a lot of it's because they have no family support, no friends, no relationships, and it's just them. And that's where they have hopelessness because they have no hope because no one is there to help them with that.
So how do you help them if you do see someone starting to isolate?
I notice. So we have community meetings, and I do one-on-ones at least once a month. Try to do more than that.
How many are in your building?
So currently I have 56 in my building. I can go to capacity is around 62 to 65.
Okay.
So that's me.
A lot to keep up with.
Yes.
You're like, yeah.
Yes, it is. But, I do a lot of texting. I do a lot of calls. I say, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Or I may go by and haven't seen someone, so I'll put a note on their door. And if I go by 2 days later, that note's still there. I know something's going on. So, and then I got their emergency contact person as well. So if I have to, I'll call their emergency contact person. But going back to having community, a couple of years ago, unfortunately, one person had passed away at Fuqua Hall. And there was no emergency contact person. So the following week, we had a meeting. I had 45 men there. I said, I'm going to pass out a form. I need everybody's emergency contacts. So this will not happen again. I need everybody's emergency contacts. Well, out of those 45 people, I think 20 of them put me down for emergency contact.
Honestly, I would too.
So that tells me
we brought you here today to ask if we could put you down as our emergency contact.
Put my number up on the screen.
Yes.
But that tells me one thing that, that's a sad thing that they don't have it. What's the reason behind that? And so is there that support when they leave? So that's one of the things we work on. And if you can make it at Fuqua Hall, then you should be able to make it when you leave here and become independent. There's a fear of leaving Fuqua Hall after 6 months because now I have to do it on my own. And hopefully we put enough in them, training-wise and classes and support and spiritually support as well, that they when they leave, they'll have something to pull out of the well and keep going.
Yeah.
Because altogether, so about 6 months at the Sheppard's Inn, and then at Fuqua Hall another 6 months.
Yeah, maybe less at Sheppard's Inn, maybe less, but 6 months definitely with us.
Because at the end of their time with you, you're working on finding them housing, right?
Correct. So by the 4th month, it's time to start looking. Do you want an apartment or a room for rent or something like that? It's based on how much you saved. The more you save, the more choices you have, especially in today's economy with rent. So we'll get down to the nitty-gritty. Okay, what do you want? And then let's talk about that. And we're working on things, any kind of barriers for housing to have before the 6 months.
Okay.
So is it your credit score that we need to work on? Is it getting rid of some debt or past issues with evictions and things like that? Can we work on those things while you're here? Because we want it to be as good as we can get it when you get ready to leave. And we want you to be confident too. I want you to come to me at month 5 and say, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I got my money saved up.
Right.
I'm good. I got some relationships in my life. My job is well. I'm ready to move out, Pastor Michael. Where should I go? Where's the place for me?
Yeah. So I know affordable housing is probably one of the biggest challenges we're facing just in our city.
Yeah.
Right. I think average rent is $1,800 for a 1-bedroom. Right.
Yeah.
So could you talk about what are you seeing in the the housing industry and what's working, what's not working? What are the challenges that you're facing?
Yeah, because you can't control that.
No, and that's what's hard about this job. There's so many things out of my control. It's free will. I can't override someone's free will. So if they want to save or don't want to save, but and I don't want to have that hard conversation. But we do have some partnerships. One of our partnerships is Open Door, and they have over 700 apartment complexes in their inventory. So we can do the application for Open Door. They can we do a filter of what they're looking for. Open Door will send us a list of places, and Open Door can help negotiate costs like moving costs, deposits, things like that. So that helps out. Now, if a person has less money, we also work with Pad Split. And Pad Split, anybody could pull it up, but Pad Split are rooms for rent in nice renovated homes. So that's really been a saving grace for us.
Interesting. Okay.
Because it's only like $19 to sign up. It's easy to qualify, and it's furnished.
It is?
Yes, it's furnished. It includes all the utilities. The only drawback is you got to share living space, like the kitchen and the living room. You can share the bathroom. You can pay a little bit more, have a private bath. So for $180 to $200, you can find that's a weekly, $180 to $200 a week. You can find a good Pad Split room to move into. No deposit to go into it. So for some of our guys, it's a small step up from Fuqua Hall.
Yeah.
And one thing is that there's no visitors overnight to a Pad Split, which may be good for some of our guys. They don't, that helps protect them as well. They may not be ready for that. So it's a small step up from Fuqua Hall. It's an easy step up from Fuqua Hall. It's not overwhelming for them. So a lot of the guys do that, and then other guys do the apartment. And we got some apartments around us and some partnerships for that as well. That's for the guys who have really saved a lot of money and are really stable. So all depends on where they're at in their journey.
So are you the one who's maintaining the relationships with these outside partners?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you wear a lot of different hats.
And there's one place on Ponce that is a 62 and older facility.
Okay.
And I got a really good relationship with them, and they've helped about a dozen of our men who have been on Social Security. So, I mean, it's refreshing when a person has maybe $1,000. That's all they have. It's Social Security. And we were able to find a place that's only going to cost them about $270 a month with utilities downtown Atlanta. But it's because of that connection that we have, that partnership we have with that apartment complex for 62 and older. So it's just refreshing to know that, that's the only place they need. They can stay there for the rest of their lives and be okay. It's a roller coaster emotionally, this job, because guys who do well, but sometimes they don't. Some guys make some bad decisions and don't. And I feel for those because they try so hard to get to the point. But I had one person that I walked over to Fuqua Hall. We did orientation. He went from Make Progress, our final stage in that model. And I'm walking over to Fuqua Hall for the first time, and I gave him an access card so he can open the door for the first time to go into this building. And I'm explaining to him Fuqua Hall and what it is, and I said, I'm going to get ready to show you your room. He's in his 40s, and he starts weeping. And I go, what's going on? What's wrong? He goes, I never had my own place before. So, the stories like that people don't never see or hear. He was so proud that he's going to have his own place now. So that's the good, really great days about work. And then
is that what keeps you going?
Well, I see miracles too all the time. I've never had a job where I saw as many miracles as I do at the Atlanta Mission. When someone comes to my office and then they're upset and they're distraught, and we sit down and I say to them, okay, so tell me about your relationship with God. Well, we're not talking right now. Me and God's not talking. I said, well, what's going on? And he goes, well, it may be something simple. I lost my wallet. And if you lose your wallet downtown and you don't have an ID, that's a big ordeal to get a new ID. So it's really important that we find that wallet. So I said, let's pray. Let's just pray that God's either going to bring it to your remembrance where your wallet is, or that it's going to be found and you're going to receive it back. Do you believe God can do that for you? Yeah, I believe God can do that. So we prayed. And it was maybe 2 minutes later, I said, well, so where did you think you last saw your wallet? I think it's over there in the courtyard. So let's go, and we'll go look for it. As we're walking across the courtyard, staff comes out with a wallet in his hands.
Oh, that's
and he goes,
cool.
Anybody lose a wallet? And it was his wallet. And he starts crying because he knows. That's what God's trying to do is, let me into your life. Give me a chance to show how strong I can be on your behalf. And just give me an opportunity. So, the biggest thing with us is say, hey, just give God a chance. Just open up your heart and let him come in into your situation, what you're going through right now. Pray first before you let all this. So that's the biggest thing I try to tell the guys. Do the right thing and include God into your decision making.
So what's kept you here 16 years?
Well, I love to solve a problem. So, but it's not me solving a problem. So someone would bring me a problem, like, the gentleman that says, I only got $960 a month.
Yeah.
And that's all I have. How am I going to find an apartment? And then, I said, Lord, that's a good question. Just pray about it. And then I look down, there's a business card for an apartment complex on Ponce for 62 and older. And it's just one piece of a puzzle falls in place, and it happens. So it's taking problems to God and then sitting back and seeing and waiting for God to give me a direction and then seeing it manifest.
Yeah.
That's cool to do that. So now it's like, okay, what's, you get,
what's next?
Bring me all your problems.
it's a natural high. That's okay, God, what else can we tackle, and stuff. But it's a partnership. You gotta do what God tells you to do. That's when He tells you to do it.
Well, and you've really seen from over the last 16 years, you started with seeing the front end of our services, and now you're really in the back end. It's been like a full circle journey for you.
Right, yeah.
And so that's really cool to have experience.
And I've done street ministry before. I've been
you've done street ministry here. When it's cold outside, you used to get in the van
and go pick up people.
And you'd go pick up people.
Yeah.
So
I've moved most of the people out of Fuqua into their apartment, which is cool.
So cool.
So let's load up your stuff in the van and let's go to your apartment. And they're showing me their apartment. And I said, well, let's take a picture of you with your key in front of your door. And that's a proud moment, Yeah. And we give them like a welcome basket, welcoming them to their place. And,
that must be the thing that really feels the most rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah, to see a person making it, make it through and then still I get phone calls from people like, hey, do you remember me and how you doing? Just checking in. I was in Home Depot up in Woodstock, Georgia on a Saturday, and I was just walking to the store. And I heard someone say, Pastor Michael. And I turned around and it was a guy. And he said, you probably don't remember me, but years ago, I was sick a couple of times and you drove me to the hospital. I said, I just wanted you to know that I'm okay. And I saw you today, and it's the first time I've seen you in a while. And I said, well, how are you doing? How's things going? He goes, I got me a house. I'm in my house up here in Woodstock. But he remembered, when he saw me, that I would take him to and that's what the Land Mission does. So I'm not the only one that does that. We all do that. We all go the extra mile. That's what I love about the mission is that we all go the extra mile for people. And it's a tough job.
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with all kinds of emotions, all kinds of levels of hopelessness, and we come with our stuff too that we come to work with every day. And then we just put out of our mind and help someone that's in front of us and try to give them hope.
Do you think he recognized you by your hair, or because he actually knew who you were?
His name tag was.
Yes, I wear my
it was your hair.
I have a mission shirt in my name tag.
No, I started at the mission 11 years ago, and the first week I was on the job, I met with you. I'm sure you don't remember this, but I remember asking you at that time. You had been at the mission for like 6 or 7 years, and you said, as soon as it stops breaking my heart, that's when I'm going to stop doing this work. And I still, I'll never forget you telling me that. I don't think I quite knew what that meant at the time, but now having been here for a while, I totally understand. Like, you go through these really high highs and these really low lows. It's an emotional roller coaster. It is. It's tough, but it's also like the best work you can ever do.
Yeah, it's rewarding.
It is.
It's rewarding.
And you really feel like you're coming to work every day and actually.
And it's never the same day.
No. It's not.
You cannot come to the mission and say, well, here's my agenda for today. I'm going to get these things. No, you're at the mercy of whatever. You try the best you can, but you're at the mercy of what happens. There's so many inner conflicts and so many issues that on our campus, outside our campus. We're downtown, so anything that goes on in the city around us affects us as well.
It does. Okay, well, I know I have texted you this question a lot and called you many, many times over the last 10 years. Something that we've talked a lot about on the podcast is for most people listening, they're not working at the mission. They're not doing this work every day. What would you say to people when they ask you, what do you do when someone's on the street, they need help? How do you help somebody?
So
how should we help somebody?
Well, now you can direct them to the mission.
Yes.
That's where downtown.
Or you can call Michael Sheppard. His number's on the screen.
He'll come pick
I
him
have
up.
done a lot of times.
If you're coming to Atlanta, visiting, whatever, I always recommend that you can make a sack lunch and bring it. If someone's hungry, give them, here you go.
Yeah, would you do that? So if someone is asking for food, would you give them something to eat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I would do that over give them anything, financial.
Okay.
Because you just don't know what they may be dealing with an addiction or something. That's the last thing they need. So I would give them some food if possible. I also pray about it too. I think the worst thing we could do with anything dealing with homelessness issue downtown is to judge quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We need to seek to understand.
Mm.
So understand where this person's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely, that person does not have the support that I have or we have. So understand where that person's coming from and what that person's dealing with. And instead of quickly judge, and I would quickly listen and pray, and again do what God directs me to do. Because just responding in the flesh it's not effective, I don't believe.
Yeah, really having a lens of empathy when you're looking at somebody.
Yeah, just trying to understand that that they're going through where did they sleep last night? What's going on?
Right.
Or what are they, this is hopelessness. They feel that no one will listen to them or care. And that's happened a lot too at the mission, where you listen to someone and they'll tell you their story and what's going on, and you start helping them with services, and they'll say, this has happened a lot. Why are you helping me, Pastor Mike? Why do you care? And that's a great segue. That's a great opening for me to say, well, because God did this for me.
Mm.
So if God did this for me, I'm going to, of course, do it for you. So a lot of times it's just, will someone listen to me? And then when someone listens to me and then tells me they're going to do something, will they follow through with it and do it? That's the big thing. Will you follow through with it and do it? So if I don't do that, then I've lost them. But if I do that, I gained their trust.
Why is that follow through so important?
Because they don't expect you're going to follow through.
Okay.
You'd be like everybody else. But it's very important for trust. You got to build trust, and you got to really. It's like doing teen ministry in church. Teens, you got to really, you got to prove to them that you love them. And the same thing with the people we serve. You got to prove to them that you love them, that you hear them, that you're listening to them, and that you're going to give them some hope, and then you're going to deliver on what you tell them. If you don't, you lost it. You lost credibility, and you don't even start missioning faith and stuff like that if you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning, how these men need community. Mm-hmm. They need relationships.
Right.
And that starts with trust. And
Trust,
it starts
absolutely.
with
Right.
a simple act of seeking to understand, right? It goes back to all that.
Yeah, it really does. About to wrap up, but I wanted to, you said that there's a story of a couple guys that moved out together?
Yeah. Cedric and Matthew and Morgan. I had three men that were at Fuqua Hall.
Okay.
They're actually living on the same floor. We have like 20 rooms per floor. And they just started relationship building community, started talking. They would go out and have dinner. And two of the men had the same exit date, a transition date. And one was like maybe a month later or a month before. Anyway, we planned it out where they all can transition at the same time. And they all got an apartment together, a 3-bedroom apartment, which they divided the cost 3 ways. And it was just recently that they moved out. But it was so
very cool,
refreshing to see that, hey, this is what community's about, you know, and
it's working.
It's working, right? And to find someone that you have common goals with and interests with, and realize that that's a good decision to make with economy like it is today. To find a place close by that they can split their cost 3 ways. Yeah, it works out really well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak about this.
No, you're such a value member of the Atlanta Mission community. I mean, honestly, you're a institution at this point.
Well, it's just because I've been here so long.
Well, it's not because you've been here so long, but I think what you were talking about is you really do go the extra mile, and it's just part of your ethos and who you are. You want to help people, and you're a problem solver.
Yeah, but I believe the Atlanta Mission goes the extra mile for people we serve.
Yes, but it goes the extra mile because of people like you.
Thank you.
So I hope everybody today gets to really experience you and gets to experience your heart that you have for the people that we serve. And I hope we're sitting here in another 16 years.
Whew.
Maybe.
We could maybe do a reality TV show.
That's what we could do. Michael and I have always wanted to do a reality TV show at Atlanta
Day
Mission.
at the door.
Yes. So we hope you enjoyed this episode with Michael Sheppard, and we hope that you got some insights on his life, what he does at the mission, and how we serve the men at Fuqua Hall and the Sheppard's Inn. Thank you for listening today.
Unseen Atlanta is proud to be sponsored this season by the Scott Pryor Law Group. At Scott Pryor Law, they treat every client like family. If you've been injured, their mission is simple. You focus on healing, and they'll handle the rest. Scott Pryor, a U.S. Marine and trial attorney, and his team believe in compassion, justice, and serving their community. So if you or a loved one has been injured, reach out to the Scott Pryor Law Group today. They'll walk with you every step of the way. You can learn more at scottpryorlaw.com.
Thanks for listening to Unseen Atlanta. If today's story moved you, we invite you to take the next step. Whether that's volunteering your time, donating to Atlanta Mission, or simply continuing to listen and learn. Every step matters. Follow along, share this episode, and join us as we invest in Atlanta together.